Anthropic just released Claude Opus 5, a model that comes close to their top-tier Fable 5 intelligence, for half the price. Here is what you need to know. It is called Claude Opus 5, $5 per million input tokens, 25 per million out, the same as Opus 4.8, and exactly half of Fable 5. It landed today. Some context on pace, this is Anthropic's fourth new model in under 2 months. Opus 5 is the latest, and it shipped today. Here's the plan. The dial that makes it different. The value. What it's great at, what builders get. And the honest part. Let's be clear from the start. Opus 5 is not the best model at everything. It is something more useful for most people. The best value in frontier AI. Here's what makes it special. A dial. Low is quick and cheap. Medium for everyday work. High for hard problems. At max, it nearly touches Fable 5. You pick where to sit. What does higher effort actually do? It lets the model think longer before it answers. More reasoning, more self-checking, which is why quality climbs as the cost does. So, the value. Why does half the price actually matter? $5 in, 25 out per million tokens. That is unchanged from Opus 4.8, and it is exactly half of what Fable 5 costs. On Anthropic's own coding benchmarks, Opus 5 more than doubles Opus 4.8, and at max effort it nearly matches Fable 5 for about half the cost per task. Next up, what Opus 5 is genuinely great at. Opus 5 is built to work independently. It plans, edits the files, runs the tests, sees 2 failing, catches its own mistake, fixes and reruns. All green. It checks its own work. Using it is one line. Name the model, Claude Opus 5, and set the effort level right there in the request. That is the whole dial. Its biggest leap, though, is science. On organic chemistry, 10.2 points over Opus 4.8. On protein prediction, 7.7 points up. That's Anthropic's own internal benchmark, and it's strongest in biology. Now, what Opus 5 gives the people building with it. First, a real developer win. Mid-conversation, you can change its tools. Add search, a database, files, your own API, without resetting the prompt cache, so long sessions stay cheap. It really is one field. Set effort too low for cheap and quick, or crank it to high when the answer has to be right. You decide, per request. Second, automatic fallbacks. If a request trips a safety filter, instead of erroring out, it can quietly route to another model and still answer. Fewer dead ends. It's already everywhere. The new default on Claude Max. The strongest option on Pro? On the API. In Claude Code and Claude Cowork. Need speed? Fast mode runs 2.5 times faster. Anthropic also says it is their best behaved model yet. In their words, it follows Claude's constitution better than Opus 4.8, Sonnet 5, or Fable 5, with the lowest rates of deceptive behavior. Which brings us to the honest part. The trade-offs. Here's the catch. Near Fable quality and half the price are not the same setting. That top performance comes at high effort, which means more compute and more waiting. The dial cuts both ways. On security, 2 honest notes. Its cybersecurity guardrails are stronger, and it's deliberately weaker at writing exploits. That's a safety choice, not a weakness. And to be fair, for the very hardest multi-day autonomous jobs, Fable 5 is still the ceiling. Opus 5 is the value king, the smart default, not the outright best at everything. So, to use it well, dial the effort to the task. It's already your default on Max and Pro. Turn on fallbacks for reliability, and swap tools mid-chat to keep the cache warm. The verdict. Frontier class intelligence used to be a fixed, expensive price. Opus 5 turns it into a dial you control. And that makes it the new default for most work. In a nutshell, 5 and 25 per million, near Fable 5 at max effort, and the best aligned Claude yet. That's Claude Opus 5. If this helped, it makes sense, subscribe for more plain English AI breakdowns. And tell me in the comments whether you're switching.